Good morning, Derbyverse. Here we are, day 2 of the Mitten Kitten Tournament in Lansing. Joining me today is going to be Hammer.
Hello. How you doing, Chip?
Doing good. I'm Eat, Chip, and Die.
I'm Hammer
welcome,
Abby.
everyone.
Yeah. Good to be here on this beautiful rainy Lansing morning.
I love cold, rainy days.
I love it. It's a good day to be inside at a roller derby tournament.
Yeah.
So what teams we got in front of us, Chip?
So up front here we've got the Irish Hills Bombshells and the Mid-Michigan Derby Girls. Mid-Michigan is actually teamed up with the Central Michigan Mayhem, so they're comprised of 2 teams. Neither team having enough players to field individual teams of their own, so they joined forces to try to conquer Division 2 here at Mitten.
Sometimes you got to come together to make it work.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Should we run down the rosters real quick for folks? Tell people who's here.
Starting off with the Bombshells, Farrell Darrell, Lala O'Rage, Babe Zilla, Thayer the Slayer, Hellcat, here to teach you the 5 Ds of Derby: dip, dive, dodge, duck, and dive. Patches O'Houlihan, Kimmy Bang Bang, McCracken Knuckles, Scarlet Maven, Whammy, Monswoon, Hot Mess Express, Crimson Fury, Velma, Ashes to Bashes, and Hazel Razor.
And for the Combo Mid-Michigan and Mayhem team, we've got Motor City Kitty, Darkin Phoenix, Jugs Bunny, Risky Chicky, Helliot Reed, Wreck Liz, Damsel of Distress, Sun Damage, Sly Vixen, Nightmare Newton, Ping Diggity, Clobberella, Canker Score, I think there's a cream for that, Juicy J, Sammy Truck, Cayenne Calamity, Catastrophe, and Sweet Poison.
Well, why don't you pat myself on the back? All right. I mean, I didn't drive 7 hours like you did, but I mean, it was 2.5. 7.5. Yeah. You deserve to be here. I've come a long way, baby.
So the time 2 Derby clock has expired. So we're just waiting on
Stuff.
things.
Yeah, it's a large, complex tournament with a lot of moving parts and people, so it can take a minute to get everything together that we need to get going here. But the skaters are ready, the announcers are ready. I guess what more do you? No, that's not true. We need a lot of volunteers and NSOs and referees to be ready, and they have been working very hard already this weekend.
They have. It's been so far a pretty good experience watching all the ref crews, all of our NSOs. Everybody's pretty knowledgeable. I've learned a few.
Learn some things.
Yeah.
That's always good. Always be learning.
As a coach, you think you know everything, and then sometimes you ask somebody who's kind of high level up, and they're like, "Oh well,
Actually,
that changed."
there's also that in roller derby. Speaking of the officials, since we got a minute, I'll tell you who's on the crew for this game today. Shout them out. We got Geo Knitter, Cheeks, Luscious Malfoy, Sawa, Torture, Turn 2, Bona, Glitter, Big Tails, Crack, see on the inline skates, big ups, Guinness, Sam Antics, Axel Rolls, Lethal, and Stray Taco. Love a Stray Taco.
That's what I was saying yesterday.
I mean,
I don't need a stray taco. I need a specific taco here in front of me.
yeah.
Akam.
Yeah. But if it's stray and no one's claiming it, I'm happy to take it in and give it a good home.
That's true.
Is what I'm saying.
That's true.
All right, looks like we might be deploying some referees to the track here, getting ourselves set up. We'll be doing our best to walk you, run you, skate you through this game today.
You know what we need?
What's that?
So we've got the refs, our zebras, and if we need them to move along, we need a lion to coax them, right? Well, since we don't have a lion here, we do have a Mitten Kitten mascot. So that's what we needed, was Mitty to come out here and wrangle the zebras.
Wrangle the zebras. Have a talk later. Make sure that. Yeah, all right, so it looks like we've got the first jam ready to go. I will do my best to tell you who the jammers are as quickly as possible, but we are facing the absolute wrong way to see numbers right off the bat. But we are off to the races here. Obviously, Irish Hills in the green and plaid, Mid-Michigan in the pink, And that is going to be 007 for Mid-Michigan with the first lead of the game. That is Dark and Phoenix.
Miss Dark and Phoenix. I just don't have this off now where you can't see it, so you have no idea who anybody is.
Dark and Phoenix does find the outside line. Just a couple quick hits to get through and pull 4 points. And Irish Hills, unfortunately, their jammer already in the box with a penalty. So they're going to call it off. Mid-Michigan is going to get 4 points, 8 points, call it off. And ice that jammer in the box, so they will start with a power stock for the next jam.
Already into our first official timeout.
Yeah, the scoreboard behind me was not doing anything, I think was the issue.
Oh, that's not good.
So they're going to get that set up. And I kept looking for the jammer names on it and the points, but it wasn't there. And then I was like, I should just look at the track.
You know, in all the years of announcing, I keep forgetting that they put the jammer names on the scoreboard.
Yep. You know, I have it even worse. I have the, I'm spoiled by having the illustrious John Lane as one of our main NSOs in Madison, which is where I'm from. And at our home games, John Lane will set up, we have little laptops that show us the score and the jammer name right in front of me. And I will frequently forget that it is right there for me to look at. It's just, you know, it's who I am as a person, I guess.
Well, if you are at home playing the home version of the game, who remembers playing the home version of the game? Right?
I do, yeah. Well, there was a board game. There was a roller derby board game too. I remember that.
Don't forget, you guys can be streaming live on YouTube. Go to Lansing Roller Derby's channel. They've got both streams going for both tracks at the tournament this weekend. If you're hearing this, you already know that.
Well done.
But tell your friends.
So much roller derby happening this weekend. A little something for everybody. You got states.
Yep.
You got D2
Yep.
and D1.
D1, yeah.
And you got a bonus game, which is my team is here to play this evening. Madison versus Grand Raggedy.
Okay. And then tomorrow morning there may be some super secret, not so secret open scrimmage with your very own Detroit Riot.
I did hear that rumor. All right, our NSOs are working very hard right now to sort out the situation with the scoreboard. It looks like we do have the score reflected. So it was 4 points for Michigan on that first jam, 0 for Irish Hills. And that has now been reflected correctly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Patrick. And the crowd goes
And
wild.
I can tell you that the jammer in the box who started for Irish Hills is there, the Slayer, number 12.
While we're at a pause here, big thank you to Lansing for hosting the event today. It's the Lansing Center, the beautiful Lansing Center, for being our venue for the weekend. Miners Den Jewelers, Coochie Family Market out in Warren, Michigan. They are providing the jams that are going for our Jammer MVPs.
I love a good pun, and I love a good jam. And I'm only a little sad that I'm no longer jamming, just so I could try to win that. But
Technically, some of them are marmalades, but
we'll let it slide.
Shh.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Looks like we are getting ready to go back to the action on the track. That was a whistle to get things started again. Said this will be a power start for Mid-Michigan. Again, in the pink for those of you watching at home. And that's a lead. That is number 707 jamming Catastrophe for Mid-Michigan. The jammer for Irish Hills is back on the track as well, and Catastrophe didn't like the looks of that, so went ahead and called it off before any points could be scored by either team.
Catastrophe pulling the lead jammer, but then gets knocked down by Vicious Velma, giving the Irish little mix-up right there at the front of the penalty box. Looks like it was just an accident. But Catastrophe losing lead, not lead jammer, but losing the lead on the other jammer. Who was the other jammer on that one?
That was still our friend Thayer the Slayer on that one. This go around, however, we have a lead being declared pretty quickly there for Sammy Truck from Mid-Michigan. Number 5. Irish Hills Jammer.
Monsoon.
Thank you.
Jamming against us yesterday. Monsoon just kept coming.
Like the weather phenomenon of their name. So Monsoon was able to get out and around as Mid-Michigan's Jammer got past 2 hips in turn 3 before calling it off. The pressure on.
Ref, I know you know, I know you know, I know you know, somebody knows. Throwing up the rock horns
Yeah.
for 2 points.
Devil horns. So this has been pretty consistently how the teams have been lining up. Mid-Michigan in a formation near the pivot line. Irish Hills all the way back by the Jammer line, giving their Jammer a chance for a running start. Pushing out in the front, but Mid-Michigan's Jammer finds an outside line, just 2 to beat as they come into turn 2. Oh, but sneaking around on the inside, number 24, Jammer for Irish Hills, whammy. Sneaking out the lead status there. Slide, nope, that is a Dark and Phoenix jamming for Mid-Michigan. Put on some pressure and snuck out a point. Stole a point at the very end.
Talking yesterday to some of our other announcers. We used to have the 5 seconds, or not 5 seconds, but the 5 points.
Oh, right, the Jammer point, yeah.
I was at a mid-kid tournament announcing, and sitting right next to one of our scorekeepers.
Yeah.
She puts up the 5 points. So I give her a little high five back. I was asked to stop doing that.
Oh, team no fun.
I know, right? That's what I said.
Well, number 12 there, the Slayer back on the track and redeeming herself here with a lead Jammer status for Irish Hills, is able to escape right around turn 2. And we do have a power jam now as Mid-Michigan's Jammer heads to the box, a little switcheroo from the earlier fate of the teams. So there, the Slayer, the only one on the track now. We are in the far straightaway. Has to battle a couple of blockers from Mid-Michigan, but they are down a few to the box. So able to get through for 4 points without too much trouble. Catastrophe, the Jammer for Mid-Michigan, who is currently in the box. There, the Slayer doing battle with 2 blockers from Mid-Michigan in between turns 2 and 3. Nice hit to the outside there by 0, Motor City Kitty. Going to recycle there all the way back into turn 3 as Mid-Michigan's Jammer comes back on the track and gets pushed to the inside and recycled back. Oh, and now there the Slayer heading to the box on a penalty. So Mid-Michigan on the power jam, but the jam will come to an end. So Mid-Michigan will get to start this in a power jam.
Situation here. 2 more points for the Irish Hills Bombshells, making it a tie game.
Got a timeout being called by Irish Hills coach Jack Astor.
Timeout, and I believe they're going to try to get, those points needed to be reflected on the board behind me. So it is a tie game now, 7-7, after the final 3 points scored by Irish Hills in that jam. I'm not sure if that's why the timeout was called by Irish Hills, but the officials have sorted out the score situation now, so it is accurately reflected as far as I know. I'm having a little chat on the track with the Irish Hills coach. I do appreciate I said plaid earlier, it's more of an Argyle. It's very nice for Irish Hills.
True, yes.
Plaid, Argyle, somewhere in there. Work on my fashion terminology.
It's definitely not a Paisley.
No, it's not Paisley.
Not a checked.
Looks like everything is sorted out.
Could be Italian Renaissance.
Rococo? I just really like that word. Or rick-rack, that's the weird little decorative thing you see on stuff sometimes. Oh, it's early.
What were the little neck things that they wore? The little fluffy neck things?
The ruffs?
Yeah.
Like a ruff or a ruffle? All right, anyway, back to roller derby. Irish Hills with the power start here. Oh, big pile up right at the pivot line as the jammer is 479. That is Monsoon back on the track, really pushing out Mid-Michigan's jammers into the far straightaway, does get through for a lead. And unfortunately, Mid-Michigan's jammer comes on the track and earns a penalty right away. I think maybe an illegal re-entry. Hate to guess at you, but this is what I
That
believe it
penalty
was.
box is filling up real quick. 2 skaters from Irish Hills and 2 skaters from Mid-Michigan.
That is Sammy Truck jamming for Mid-Michigan, serving some
Another
time.
Irish Hills bombshell going into the box.
A lot of penalties being handed out right now, but another 4 points. In the meantime, Monsoon's just getting the job done. Making a few passes for Irish Hills here. Putting them into the lead for the first time in this game. Monsoon taking a big hit to the inside. I believe that is going to be a penalty call for a direction on that blocker, though, from Mid-Michigan. So Monsoon now again through for another 4 points. Packs are depleted, spread out, and moving fast on the track at the end of this jam. So that would have been a nice 9-point jam for Monsoon, putting Irish Hills at 16 to Mid-Michigan's 7.
Sammy Truck got through. If she was able to start scoring, I mean, with only 1 blocker on the track, passing 1 blocker worth all 4 points.
I don't believe Sammy Truck ever made an initial pass.
She made it through her initial pass.
Did she? I missed that. There's a lot going on. Okay, so that may be what they're discussing right next to me right now.
I don't
Why
know.
it's good to have 2 sets of eyes on the table here. There's
Don't
a lot
know if she
happening.
made a scoring pass.
That's okay. That's the question.
Because I can't remember that far back.
Jamnesia is real.
Yes. I don't remember what I had for breakfast, and I never eat breakfast.
Well, that would be why. All right, officials are working out, I believe, probably some stuff about the score right now. Got anything to tell us about, Chip, while we're hanging out?
Hey, don't forget, tonight the Lansing Shuffle is going to be the host of our after party. We were up there last night as well. Neat little venue. They got a full bar, but then they have like 5 different little restaurants all around that you can get different kinds of food.
I gotta go check that out.
They've got a Thai place that has crab rangoon nachos. They've got a Tibetan place that was like they had like a chicken and a rice and some dumplings that was really good. The burger place has some good burgers and some adult milkshakes.
I did see something on the website for about that situation. Well, the teams are super ready, but the official's still on the track holding the timeout, but that is the rolling whistle to end the timeout. Looks like we're going to get a nice old-fashioned running start from the jammers here, as both packs are lined up right by the pivot line. Irish Hills sending, I think that's there, the Slayer back to the track with the jammer star. Mid-Michigan is sending 007 Dark and Phoenix. It's been a pretty regular 3-jammer rotation. Dark and Phoenix is able to get lead on the inside line, headed into the far straightaway, and there the Slayer now through as well, so about a quarter of a track behind and giving chase.
If you're gonna pull your number 007, I feel like huge missed opportunity. Like, how are you not like Jane Bond or?
It is an interesting mix, but you know, there's probably a story there. Both jammers through for 4 points as the packs roll into the near straightaway in an emphatic order to call it off from Irish Hills bench. So that's going to be an even Steven jam, I believe, 4-4.
Jam refs in the middle signaling to fight the power.
Always.
The irony of them being the power.
I care not.
Looks to retake the lead.
Yep, that's going to be another score fix. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on the scoreboard here. They're having a lot of trouble with the scoreboard in this game. They want to make sure I do believe both teams scored 4 points on that jam, and we're only seeing it reflected right now for Mid-Michigan, so we got to sort that out. So, you know, first thing in the morning, you just got some kinks to work out. Sometimes
Technology's great until it doesn't work.
Exactly. It's all built on unicorn hair and dreams, so.
Voodoo magic.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, you will probably hear some ambient noise. There are two other tracks in this room, and our fun house announcers next to us in the background. You probably hear them fairly well. Resonant voices. All right, looks like we are going to get back to the game. I don't see the 4 points reflected for Irish Hills, so it's possible I was wrong. That is always possible. But I really thought I saw that.
Yeah, they pulled one of the Irish Hills blockers out of the penalty box as well.
Ah, okay.
So,
It's a lot going on.
yeah.
We're doing our best. Oh, a real quick lead call there for Catastrophe from Mid-Michigan. Finds the inside line open off of the start of the jam. Meanwhile, number 12 for Irish Hills. There, the Slayer back on the track. Jamming is through. About a full lap behind. So this is going to give Mid-Michigan a second to get some quick 4 points, and they are going to go ahead and call it off before Irish Hills can answer.
Number 4 into the lead of the Bombshells, bringing us 15 to 19.
As you probably heard in the background, 15 to 19 right now. Irish Hills in the lead by just 4. We got about 11 minutes left in the first half of this game. And another timeout. Why not?
You got him.
This looks like an official timeout. Again?
Well, if it's an official timeout, let's find a way to pay the bills.
Let's do it.
This timeout is going to be brought to you by Sakeley's. Roller Bones, who is sponsoring our overall MVP for each game. We already talked briefly about the Cucci Family Market in Warren, who is donating our Jammer MVP.
It's very nice of them. We appreciate people who support roller derby, especially your local roller derbies.
We do have a bunch of shops in the arena area. Glitter Gals Boutique, Unique Metals, PT and PT Massage. I'm going to tell you right now, Magic Hands, that's one of the massage. I've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
He is the only man that has fixed me.
So Magic Hands, the name is apt, is what you're saying.
It is completely apt.
Good, I already signed up, so I'm excited.
A while back, we were playing, I think it was Cleveland, and I got hit. I got rocked backwards. I'm trying to roll with the hit, right?
Yep.
And I didn't have enough momentum. And I kind of get like here, but on my head, like up and down, straight up and down, but on my head.
Yep.
And so I just, crumble because I'm a big fat guy.
I mean, I think anybody would.
And pulled something in my neck. And I'm looking around because he was coaching the Lansing Vixens at the time.
Okay, all right.
And they were playing Detroit. I'm looking around. Chip, what do you need? I'm like, go get that guy over there. Okay. Hey, man, what's going on? I'm like, dude, I messed up my shoulder. Fix it. Okay. Starts cranking on my shoulder for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then with, I think we had like 5 minutes left of the game. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I can go back in.
Loose and good.
It was great.
Yeah, that's magic. It is magic. Love a good physical therapist, massage therapist. Worth their weight in gold. I'm always extra excited to see them at Derby tournament.
Yes.
I'm sure they get plenty of work and a lot of fun challenges. All right, we are still waiting for whatever needs to get sorted out. I wish I could give you more information, but I don't know what's happening. I can tell you it is still 19 to 15 Irish Hills in the lead. Still about 10 and a half minutes left in the first half. We've been having, I think, just a lot of technical difficulties this morning. No one's fault, really. They're doing their best to sort it out.
The scoreboard hasn't woken up yet. Still needs a cup of coffee.
And the house announcers are starting to beatbox, so we are in trouble. It's getting serious. So it's the situation. So whoever wins this game, this is part of the bracket, right? So the D2 bracket, where are we? Let's take a look.
Mid-Michigan.
Yep.
Irish Hills Bombshells. Winner plays tomorrow, 12:45.
Okay.
For 5th place, I believe.
Looks like.
Coming up next, on this track is going to be our. Nope, we got another game in between.
This one?
Where's it, that one? Which is, yeah, that one for Downriver, my team,
All right.
our B team versus Killer Crew.
That looks like it's 1:45 Eastern
1:45.
time.
Should be a good game.
Having to adjust. I'm a Central Time person. It's a little bit of an adjustment.
Did you bring with you any squeaky cheese?
You know, I'm not sure if anybody on the team did. I am the wrong person for it, though, because I am extremely lactose intolerant, so I don't often have it on me. I love it. It's delicious, but I can no longer eat it. So.
How do you survive in the land of milk and cheese?
I mean, it's a challenge. Every day is a challenge. I wake up and I weep a single tear and rage at my guts and past choices. And then I go on with my life. But I will say Wisconsin has a lot of really good food that is not milk and cheese, so I have other options, which is good.
Well, that's good.
But,
I've only been to Wisconsin once.
yeah,
It was enjoyable. Went to Milwaukee.
yeah, it's a great city. Beautiful lakefront.
Milwaukee, or as the Algonquin call it, the Good Land.
Land. Otherwise known as Lake Gitchigumi.
No, Gitchigumi was.
Oh, no, that's Superior, you're right. No, it's Michigami, I think is just the indigenous name. It's too early. My brain is in like 10 places. Plus, I'm trying to see jammer numbers while they're facing me from the front, and that's a challenge. So, I don't mean to whine to the stream here. I'm just telling you, like this, we're doing what we can.
I like to wait until I'll make up other stuff,
Yeah, just talk about.
and then as they pass, then I start going with their name.
I was like, oh, I knew this all along.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it sound really smooth.
Like, oh yeah, the pack's going. Here they come. They're fighting hard.
This is my first game of the weekend, so I have to. This is good. These are good tips to develop my stream technique for this weekend. Just given our angles on the games here.
I've always been a very lazy announcer.
Excellent. All right.
And so, if I don't have to do that work of finding out, and I can just let the track take care of that,
Eventually,
Yeah.
you'll see. Yep. Yeah.
we'll get there.
Well, and I have to turn around to look at the scoreboard, which is like it's close by, but it is a whole body action I have to take to go look at it, which is, that's an effort.
Yeah, and you do that for 5 or 6 games?
Yeah.
That's a lot of...
It's a lot, although it's nice. It's a kind of a nice spine twist.
You don't realize how much energy announcing takes out of you.
Yeah,
Right.
it does. It's a lot of brain energy. I always feel like at the end of the day, my brain is mush. Oh, I hear a whistle. Thank you for bearing with us in all of our chatter here as we kill time between timeouts. But it sounds like we are going to get back to the game. Nothing has changed on the scoreboard, so it was other adjustments being made. We are off to the races again. It's going to be jamming for Monsoon, jamming for Irish Hills. Both battling the pack in turn one. Really nice defense from both teams here, not getting too much daylight for either jammer. Mid-Michigan's jammer sneaks around the outside and gets a huge hit down from Irish Hills blocker, and I wish I could tell you who that was. Both jammers get out pretty much at the same time, but it looks like Irish Hills will take the lead call.
Jammer on jammer action at turn 4. Took both jammers almost 30 seconds to get out of the pack.
That was Reckless for Mid-Michigan. The rare offensive hit from a jammer to another jammer where the person giving the hit did not fall down. It is very difficult to give a hit at high speed and not take
And
yourself
on
out.
that turn.
Out of the turn especially. So big ups to Reckless for making the physics work with her and not against her. No points on that jam. Packs lining up in a familiar formation. Mid-Michigan up by the pivot line. Irish Hills back by the jam line. Mid-Michigan sending Dark and Phoenix back with the star, and it is going to be 24. That is Whammy jamming for Irish Hills, and will take lead as well.
Whammy!
Kind of have to say it that way. Mid-Michigan does get their jammer out, though. And Whammy's going to pick up 4 points and call it off before Mid-Michigan can score. Continuing to just nudge open the lead that they have grown 23-15 over Mid-Michigan.
nicest NSOs with the
And
I can say that because she's my coach, Miss Monique. She said I could say that as long as I
okay, I had like, I was stressed that was going to be a timeout being called on our track, but I think it was the other track. So we're still moving. All right, a lot of whistles in one room.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a little difficult to figure out exactly where each whistle is coming from.
Whose whistle is whose? All right, but we are back at it. And it is going to be Mid-Michigan with the lead. That's Catastrophe, 707. Out in the lead as Irish Hills Jammer gets hit to the inside and recycled back a little bit there. That's number 12, Risky Chicky. I'm sorry, looking at the wrong list. There, the Slayer, jamming for Irish Hills.
Looking to pick up a 7-4. Finds the path down to the ground. And
Oh, and 707. So the Mid-Michigan Jammer picking up a penalty, I believe, for a high block. Going to be sent to the box. So Irish Hills now with a power jam opportunity. There, the Slayer has taken off for helmet cover, though. And lead had already been declared for Mid-Michigan, so there's not going to be a lead. It's going to be a full 2-minute jam.
Full 2 minutes.
Pax hanging out in turn 3, going to be waiting for impact as there the Slayer comes around. They get moving again. Coming back into the near straightaway there. The Slayer battling past Mid-Michigan's blockers here. Gets it to the outside. We'll have to recycle back around and in. But a penalty being called on there, the Slayer. And so we will a little do-si-do in the penalty box as Mid-Michigan sends their jammer back to the track now for a power jam opportunity. Catastrophe, hit to the outside, recycle back, but that person also went out, so didn't have to come back.
Catches O'Houlihan with a big hit, but yeah, she went down. Allowing Dark and Phoenix the no pass, no penalty.
Yep, so only picks up 2 points. Well spotted. On that pass, coming back around, and now there the Slayer back out of the box. Re-entering the pack. Those are not our whistles. If you hear them, that's the other track. So this jam now is done. And it looks like there will be points on both sides for that. Yep, all 4 for Irish Hills in that pass. And another 2 devil horns for Mid-Michigan.
Official timeout being called. Now, I do know that the ref crews are using 2 separate whistles for the tracks.
So they're like different songs.
They should have different tones.
That's good.
But even if you tell me that,
I'm not going
and I hear
to know in the moment.
I'm not going to sit there and go, was that a A sharp or a B flat?
So this looks like an official review being called by Irish Hills. They are out conferring in the middle of the track with the referees. And if we find out what this official review is about, we will definitely let you know. Currently sitting at 27 for Irish Hills, 19 for Mid-Michigan, so pretty darn close game. We got about 5 minutes, 46 seconds left in the first half. This might be, I don't, no shade to anybody. This might be the most timeouts I've experienced in the first half of a game, though.
This is a lot of timeouts.
It's a lot of timeouts.
So if you're watching the stream now, and you're planning on coming to the tournament later, and you happen to have your little kittens with you, not only do we have Mitty, our beloved mascot,
Yep.
we do have some games for the kids.
Oh, that's fun. What do we got?
I know that we have a hidden around the arena, wherever fans are allowed to traverse. There are kittens that are hidden, maybe on a wall, maybe on a sign. They got a little number with them.
Okay,
you go around and you find
like
all the kitties.
illustrations, not actual kittens.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't tape actual cats.
I just wanted to make sure. I figured.
Like I'm 50-50 on like how like adorable and how like kind of mean that would be.
Terrible.
Yeah. Like
Not great. Not great.
like double-sided tape, but then it's just a kitty like sitting
like-
there like.
Hello. Yep. See, now I'm going to be looking for these cutouts, even though I'm not a child, but I want to know where they are. I see them. Got some good kitten merch, too. There's a huge line for that when I came in last night, so hot items. If you are going to come to the tournament, you should get here sooner than later if you want to get the merch item of your dreams, because this stuff is selling like hotcakes.
T-shirts, hats. We got all kinds of stickers. Mitten Kitten X this year.
Whoop, whoop.
To the extreme.
To the extreme.
X marks the spot.
Referees are conferring in the middle right now about this, whatever Irish Hills was asking about. Good chance it's something to do with the jammers. Usually the case. Listen in on this report.
They're asking for the green jammers out of bounds block to be removed. It's not
So Irish Hills having received a blocking out of bounds. Irish Hills asking for the penalty to be reversed, but the refs had enough eyes on it. It's gonna stand, so looks like we are gonna hold that penalty to the Irish Hills jammer. Can't see the penalty box to see if the penalty's already finished being served.
It has.
or-
Both jammers are on the track, so it wouldn't have made a difference for that. But I'm assuming just for total penalties on a particular jammer, that could be helpful to have one removed.
Sometimes, yeah.
So no more official review for this half, but not a huge deal. Half is almost done. Oh, we regained some time on the period clock too. We're back up to 6:11 to start this one. Monsoon out and out fast with lead for Irish Hills.
Semi-truck jamming for Mid-Michigan. Going to the penalty box.
For a back block, it looks like, for Sammy Truck. It's been right off the lines. Monsoon back around on the first scoring pass here now. Dealing with all 4 Mid-Michigan blockers, but is able to take a couple of hits, brush them off, get through on the far straightaway for the first 4 points of the jam.
So being a former referee, being a coach, being an announcer, like I watch as an announcer, right, and I see penalties. So, and as a player, sometimes you really don't realize that you committed a penalty.
Oh, of course.
And so Velma from Irish Hills, a little bit of a direction, right, on whoever she was blocking on the jammer. And I sit here, and as a ref, I go, yeah, that was a direction. And then I see the ref come over and gives her the penalty, and she's skating off like, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. I'm like, oh yeah, you did it. Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know what you
that
did.
happened.
You know, as a skater, I try really hard to be obviously always respectful of the ref's decision, but you sometimes disagree internally, and you got to just put that inside and deal with it. But yeah, you don't always feel it or see it when it happens, and sometimes you do. My favorite actually was last night. There was a moment where someone got a penalty at the very end of the game, and the ref didn't even have to say it out loud. They just made meaningful eye contact because the jam was done, and they were like, you know what you did. The skater went off to the box. It's like, yep, you knew.
I've had a few of those.
Yep. So we did have 12 points for Monsoon. I got to shout that out. That was a pretty huge
That's a
jam.
good
for
jam.
Irish Hills, a very nice
That is
jam.
one of our higher scoring jams of this game so far.
Absolutely. I think really taking advantage of the power jam, which is now over. Both jammers on the track for both teams, and that is going to be, I think that is
Wham.
Whammy, yep, for Irish Hills, but it is going to be Dark and Phoenix with lead for Mid-Michigan.
Whammy taking a track cut.
Oh, so the tables have turned. We've got a power jam for Mid-Michigan. They can try to eat into this lead that Irish Hills has opened up in the last few jams. Dark and Phoenix easily around kind of all of the blockers, as there's only a couple on the track right now for Irish Hills. Just found an outside line. And is being told to call it off, presumably to ice that jammer for the other team in the box and give them a power start.
Interesting call because Wham was still on her initial pass.
Yep. This is the fun thing about being on the stream is you can have opinions about what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have called it.
I wouldn't have called it either. You're down. They were having a good jam. The jammer was doing a good job.
Yeah.
Could have gotten some more points. Their blockers were doing a good job holding the other team.
The Bombshells, as you call them.
I always tell my team, it's a very fluid game, right? Like everything's happening all at once.
Yep.
Like we gotta, they will come up and ask questions, be like, when is it okay to do this, or when, like, what's the,
Yeah.
you know, and they're kind of looking for like a very black and white answer.
You know, and it's ever changing.
And I'm
Gonna
like,
have to just learn by experience.
constantly have to, well, we wouldn't do it in this situation, but we would do it here.
Yeah. Oh, we got a bleed though, finally getting called there for whammy. That took a little bit of doing. Both teams doing some nice defense there, and Catastrophe is on the track for.
Vindication off that penalty from the last game.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's important to come out of the box and just, go hard, especially if no lead has been declared. Catastrophe stuck behind two Irish Hills blockers in the front. Will have to give her up as she pushes into the far straightaway. Whammy going to pick up some points here. Took a couple of hits back up on the inside line and being asked to call it off. So that'll be a a hard earn for Irish Hills, bringing up to 43 to Mid-Michigan's 23. 2 minutes left in the first half.
A little separation starting to happen between the two teams here.
Just a bit. Not what I would call a comfortable lead, but
No, but with the way the
hopeful lead.
scoring's been happening, like very low scoring game so far.
yes,
And so with the way this game is going, like 20-point lead
that might
may be enough.
That's a good that's a good point about just sort of the percentage ratio of points.
Again, like that's just how this game goes.
Yep.
I love explaining this to like people that don't know Derby. So they're like, oh yeah, we only lost by 50 points. Because like you lose to a team by 50 points, yeah, you lost, but you had a couple of bad power jams, right?
Right.
You
Very
lose to
different.
somebody by 50 points or less, like you're about on par. Like you could beat them next time, right?
Yep.
You lose by somebody by like 100 points, right?
That's more of a
You got beat by a better team,
Yep.
but it's not like a blowout, right? 100 points.
I would say it's creeping up on a
You
blowout.
definitely got beat by a better team.
Yeah.
Right? You get beat by like 250 points.
That's-
You
yeah.
definitely were.
You were
doing some
mismatched.
shit. But that's the interesting thing about this game. Like you may have two teams that are like lower scores like this, so all your differentials kind of change a little bit.
Yep. Absolutely. And and compared to another sport, it's not the case in the scores.
And I'll tell people, I'm like, you go to. Like a lot of my coworkers and people, like they know, they're like, oh, you had a game, like how'd you guys do? I'm like, yeah, we lost by like 100 points, 50 points. Oh, we only lost by like 50 points. Like 50 points. I'm like, so you go to football, 50 points is a lot.
Yeah.
Hockey, 50 goals is a lot.
A lot.
Soccer,
It's a little different.
yeah.
I mean, you just
But in roller derby, 50 points is nothing.
yeah, there's just a lot more points being scored in general.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did have a timeout. That timeout is now over. There is
That
a
timeout was brought to you by
single-
me babbling.
a great sponsor. One jammer on the track. That's going to be Mid-Michigan's 18. Reckless. Through for a pretty quick lead call there on this power start. Both packs lined up in turn two. Reckless looking to the outside. Doing battle with final two Irish Hills blockers. Gets through.
Nice job battling through those last blockers.
That was a little bit of a fight. A little bit of a dodge and weave there. Whammy back on the track for Irish Hills was holding the star cover in her hand, but Mid-Michigan decided to call it off before she could even make an initial
Again,
pass.
I think Wham.
have questions.
Yeah. Again, Wham on her initial pass. Calling it. A little early.
Yep. Again, I try not to judge because I don't know. I don't know what your strategy is.
Maybe they have a different plan. Yeah.
Yep. I'll just say what's happening. That's what's happening. All right, both jammers on the track for both teams. Looks like Irish Hills will be sending, I think that is the Slayer back to the track with the star. And that's going to be Dark and Phoenix for Mid-Michigan. Dark and Phoenix getting taken to the outside and run back by Farrell Darrell. And there, the Slayer will head to the box. With
A lot of
penalty. Did you
jammer
catch it?
penalties.
Yeah, a lot of jammer penalties in this game. I didn't catch which one that was.
A lot of
particular
jammer
offense?
penalties. But that may also be contributing to the low scores.
I think you're probably correct.
Defense for both of these teams working really hard. Right? We've had a few jams where 30 plus seconds before a jammer gets out.
Yep.
So I'm typically finding if one jammer gets out, the other one is generally getting out
Yep.
pretty fast behind them.
Oh, lead finally being called there for Dark and Phoenix after, like you said, nice long fight
She had
against
to push that whole pack around the whole track
Yeah, they were
before
like-
she got lead.
back nearly at the pivot line again.
That's a hard way to earn lead jammer.
Yep. A lot of work. Dark Phoenix now back around for a scoring pass. Takes a little hit to the outside, but stays upright and in bounds, calls it off.
That was a very easy way to score 4 points for Dark and Phoenix.
Yeah.
Took one little hit, wrapped yourself around the wall.
Yep.
Bing,
Passed all
bam,
of
boom.
hits. Not too shabby.
And that is going to take us into intermission.
Yep. 43 points for Irish Hill Bombshells, 31 for Mid-Michigan / Mayhem. And we've got about 9.5 minutes before we'll be back for the second half.
will be here.
I'm Ichib and Dai.
And we are going to be here for the second half of this Mid-Michigan Derby Girls, well, Mid-Michigan/Mayhem versus the Irish Hill Bombshells. We ended the last half with the Irish Hills Bombshells up by 43 to Mid-Michigan's 31, but a bit of a momentum swinging in Mid-Michigan's favor to close that gap. So we'll see, hopefully, fewer technical glitch timeouts in the second half of this game.
I'm good now. I found my coffee.
Okay, all right. So no technical glitches for you either. Here we are, first jam of the game, second half of the game, excuse me. Underway, we've got Monsoon jamming for Irish Hills in that lovely green plaid / Argyle. But on the outside, finding a wide open line, 007 Dark and Phoenix for Mid-Michigan.
I think we might have had a missed call there. Back block, maybe a forearm, whatever the hierarchy would have been.
Yeah. I'm going to have like the super specific hand gestures for each penalty anymore, and it's hard for me to know. Oh, and a nice hit to the outside. They're going to draw Monsoon back and around as Dark and Phoenix also getting dragged around the outside on this scoring pass for
Got
Michigan.
knocked down about 24 feet out of play.
You know, there've been there's been a bit of that this weekend. Pack's getting a little spread out. But that is going to be 4 points for Mid-Michigan. Monsoon still trying to get through, finally does so. Full lap around as we get back into turn 1. Had to take off a star for a stash, wasn't able to find a pivot, but is through. And another 4 points picked up by Mid-Michigan in the meantime, but they're going to go ahead and call it off that time before Monsoon gets a chance to go on her scoring pass. So that's going to be a nice 8 points picked up by Mid-Michigan, continuing to narrow the gap in the score, 39 to Irish Hills 43.
Yeah, Monsoon not being able to find the pivot for that. Hey, she ended up not needing it. But I love being a pivot because, like, I got these super long arms. And,
He's really reached
and for
through.
as big as I am, I'm kind of sneaky.
Yep.
And I love, like, I'll see my jammer and they take the cover off and they're looking for me and, like, oh no, I got knocked out of bounds. But as I'm popping back in, like, I steal it out of their hand and take off. They're like, where'd he go?
Yeah, I've been pivoting for the real first time this year, and it's a very satisfying feeling when you can pull off a really good sneaky star pass.
Yeah.
All right, we are jamming again now. We've got Catastrophe jamming for Mid-Michigan will take lead coming out of the first turn.
Vicious Velma jamming for the first time today for Irish Hills.
Correct. Trying to find the outside. Takes a final hit, but does brush it off.
I would say Vicious Velma's probably the most seasoned vet on Irish Hills.
Yeah, I think we were just called off for possible injury because neither the lead jammer, I don't think, called that off. Did I miss that? I thought it was I didn't see a call off, so it might have been a medical thing. But everybody skated off the track, which is good. But we do have a little timeout now. So yeah, I'm guessing that was a medical. I think there was a skater who had a moment, may have gotten hit in the face, but was able to get up off the track of their own ability. So we're just in a little quick timeout to check in on all of that. No score on that last jam.
So I want to make sure we give another big thank you to the Lansing Center for being the host of the event. Lansing Roller Derby hosting the Mitten Kitten mashup this year. We have a big thank you to AK 40 ounce for putting this together.
Doing all the things.
And President for Lansing Roller Derby, Yermageddon. Very, very influential on everything that's going on today. This is the third year, I believe, Lansing is hosted, which puts everybody in a nice central location for the state. We did have several years up in beautiful Mackinac City.
Ooh, I mean, yeah, gorgeous, but a little bit more out of the way.
And we were discussing that last night, like, as great as Michigan is, I love this state, right? We are in a terrible place for people, like,
to get to.
Yeah. Because the only thing north of us is Canada.
Yep.
First, it's more Michigan for hours. And it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. But then the only thing above that is Canada.
Yeah.
Which is even more beautiful and gorgeous.
It also is. Dark and Phoenix with the, I can't, no, I don't believe it was called before that happened, but Darkin Phoenix does pick up a track cut. We'll head to the box for Mid-Michigan out at the start of this jam. And that is going to mean, oh, and a penalty also being called on Irish Hills Jammer for a forearm. That's there, the Slayer headed to the box. So it'll be a very quick stay for Darkin Phoenix, who will be released from the box. Chooses to go, oh, and released almost immediately. So both jammers will be back on the track pretty quick here. No one getting a power jam out of this.
Not much of one, no.
Equally naughty, the jammers. All right, so we're just back at regular old roller derby now. The pack's being pushed into the near straightaway again after a full lap. Blocker headed to the box for Irish Hills. We'll open a little bit of a room here for Darkin Phoenix, but also on the inside line on the other side there, the Slayer. So both jammers now through on their scoring pass this next time.
Both jammers getting out at the same time after coming back from a penalty.
Just twinning all day.
Twinning!
They're the Slayer, the first one to hit the pack. The Mid-Michigan blockers sort of in the front of the scrum formation. Darkin Phoenix in the back. Behind three Irish Hills. Oh, one of them being released to the box, though, for a naughty. There, the Slayer was recycled back into the far straightaway, but ooh, gets a little bit, tries to hit her out to the inside, but ends up just pushing her forward. So there, the Slayer threw for 4 points for Irish Hills.
On one foot, a little wobbly, manages to keep her balance and stay upright.
Heck yeah. Oh, tries a little apex jump there. The Slayer doesn't land it. We'll have to go back. Darkin Phoenix, though, looking a little worse for wear after that jam. Looking a little worn out. Have nothing but sympathy for that. It is hard work. Was not able to get through the blockers at the end, but did at some point pass all 4 of those hips, so picked up all 4 points, even though they didn't make it out. So very close game now. We've got 47 for Irish Hills to 44 Mid-Michigan.
Mid-Michigan just closed that gap. Now only down by 3. Down by 20 points at one point.
Velma taking the line again in the star for Irish Hills. Second time in the game. We'll be going up against Sammy Truck for Mid-Michigan, but it is Velma out with lead. Although in hot pursuit, Sammy Truck less than a quarter turn behind her. So they're going to be racing around. The packs both start to move pretty quickly into turn 3. Velma will hit the fast pack and take advantage of the fact that blockers were not tightly together as they were moving fast there, so able to come through and grab a quick 4 before calling it off. That's the trick, that fast skating. It's really hard to keep your formations and stay tight and stop real quick when the jammer hits you.
That is true.
It's like some old school derby there, and you just had to, like as a jammer, you just had to be really fast and agile.
As a big fat guy, when we switched over from this high-speed, high-paced roller derby and moved into a slower roller derby, I said, oh, I can do this.
More scrum-based, yeah.
I can stand here.
Heck yeah. Well, it's great because I think all body types, all kind of like skill sets have a place in modern roller derby.
I say this constantly. If you're as old as I am and you remember the original ice hockey game for Nintendo, you had a skinny fast guy, you had a medium guy, and you had a powerful but slow short fat guy.
Yeah.
And you could never win if you had just one of those types.
Right, you gotta have
You had to mix it up.
Yep.
Right? And there's different combinations that you could use, but you had to
brings
have.
something.
So there's a place for everyone.
For us. And meanwhile, there's a place in the box for the Mid-Michigan Jammer who did pick up a high block just as they were about to pick up lead. So lead instead now being awarded to Irish Hills Jammer Monsoon, who has picked up her first 4 points already in this jam. Pack's moving pretty quickly. Big pile up in turn 1 means a pretty easy another pass for Monsoon. And just as the jammer for Mid-Michigan is released, Catastrophe back on the track now. Monsoon getting hit to the inside there by Kitty. And we'll get a track cut. Yep. Dragged a toe.
There's going to be a few. I heard some pretty rapid fire whistles going. Looks like both jammers racing to the penalty box.
Okay, so this will just be a jammer 1-2 in the box at the same time. They will release them simultaneously. Yep. So we can play roller derby again.
Yep.
Can't have both jammers in the box. No one likes that. So we're back at roller derby. Regular roller derby on the track. It's just Irish Hills down 1 blocker in the box. Monsoon now finding the inside line open without too much trouble. He's going to pick up another 4, so that's going to be 12 points on the jam, one of our highest scoring jams so far.
Both teams starting to play with a little more intensity. Although what's starting to happen because of that, the pack is starting to get separated, right? So this is going to work into our jammers' favor.
Absolutely. The more negative space you leave for a jammer, the happier they are.
Those jammers, they constantly want space and speed.
Absolutely. Ooh, a lot of wrangling out on the track here last minute, making sure we have the right number of blockers on the track, and we do, thankfully. 63 for Irish Hills, 44 for Mid-Michigan, 11 and a half left on the clock for this half. That's Velma again, who's been having a pretty good second half, jumping in as a jammer. Is gonna pick up a track cut, though. I jinxed it with my words. So it's gonna be Mid-Michigan with the lead, and that is number 18, Rec Liz, with the star in the pink. So power jam opportunity for Mid-Michigan. They had some nice momentum coming out of the halftime here that kind of fell away again. The gap opening up in the score, but this might be a nice chance for them to, yeah, pretty easy inside line there for Rec Liz of 4 points for Mid-Michigan. Both packs coming to a standstill in the first straightaway as Rec Liz comes around on this power jam. Getting a little bit of quick O there from Kitty on the outside. A little hip whip. A little spin, a little fall. Some quick recycling there from Irish Hills pivot, though. So Mid-Michigan will get 3 of their 4 points on that effort.
Now, the confines of the venue, putting our table right at turn 1 here. Downside, a little tough to see our jammers.
Yep.
Right, starting off. Plus side, a lot of action happens at turn 1.
It is right in front of us. Yeah, you're right. That's a good call.
It's a beautiful sight to see that jammer when they're coming around the outside and they're like up on 1 foot and you're trying to see if they're in or out, or perfect view.
Yep.
To see that track cut on the outside.
So this is a nice announcer glass half full view.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, absolutely. So much of the action does happen between turns 1 and 2 here. We do have another timeout on the track. This is an official timeout, so once again sorting out some logistics. Not sure what. What do you got to tell us, Chip?
So don't forget, September 6th through 8th of 2024, so next year, September of next year, the weekend after Labor Day, if I'm not mistaken, the Lansing Center and Lansing Roller Derby are going to be hosting Skate Wars.
Dun, dun, dun.
So make sure you guys come back, because they're going to be featuring teams from different states, borderless teams, province teams, territorial teams, teams from all over. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I've heard quite a few teams. Oh, and we are back on the track and very quickly sneaking through to pick up lead for Irish Hills. There, the Slayer kind of came out of nowhere there off the line. And Dark and Phoenix jamming for Mid-Michigan. There, the Slayer picks up a quick 4, though. Again, these packs are moving fast, getting split apart, making it not too difficult for jammers to get through and pick up those points. Irish Hill's going to go ahead and run it, though. They've only got 2 blockers on the track, so presumably wanting to break those other blockers out of jail before they call it, pick up some points. They've got a nice, decent little lead here. Why not? Dark and Phoenix just dealing with 2 Irish Hills. Blocker 1 right now to beat. Struggling a little bit. Does stay upright on the inside line, though, and gets through for 4 points. Irish Hills also with 4 on that pass. We've got some blockers coming out of the box, which is now empty for the moment. So, yeah, there's the call. Another 4. So it'll be a 12-point jam for Irish Hills, bringing them to 75.
Another thing I'm noticing, a lot of forearms. A lot of those leans that are going and they're extending that chicken wing out.
A little too far.
Right? Got to make sure when you're going in for those leans that you lean in with the hip.
Yeah. That's a tricky thing.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Jam is on. Monsoon jamming for Irish Hills.
Points is still very much, I mean, we saw
Someone for Mid-Michigan. I can't see yet.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's Catastrophe. Monsoon getting recycled back on the inside line. We'll have to come back into turn 1, start again. Catastrophe, though, finding an inside line coming out of turn 2. Will pick up lead for Mid-Michigan. About a quarter track behind and giving chase, though. Monsoon not too far behind. Mid-Michigan down its pivot to the box.
35, even 40 points can be. You don't see it
I
that
think
often
this
anymore.
faster pack pace that we've been seeing in the second half is working in favor for Irish Hills.
Well, Mid-Michigan taking advantage right now. Catastrophe getting through and moving Irish Hills blockers. Pick up 4 points, but Monsoon will answer those 4 shortly behind. Back block being assessed to Kitty, blocker for Mid-Michigan. Oh, and an emphatic, there it is, emphatic call off from the bench. Makes it to Catastrophe, so they'll call it off before more points can get scored. But I think that's going to be an even jam for both teams.
Even jams working in favor of Irish Hills with less than 7 minutes in the half. They are more than happy to trade those points back and forth.
Yeah, that'll work just fine for them for the
Right.
rest of the game.
And in tournament play, the win's the win. You don't have to worry about point spreads.
The Sammy truck for Mid-Michigan. There, the Slayer for Irish Hills. Getting the business at the front there from Hellcat. I'm sorry, wrong list. Elliott Reed, but is able to get through. With the lead.
Dr. Elliott Reed.
Well, they should put Doctor on the. You should take Doctor with you wherever you go, but it's not on the roster here with the name. Well, he's happily give someone their dues. So there, the Slayer gets around one down. Skater there is going to pick up 4 points coming into the near straightaway again. The pack's getting a little split apart again. I think both teams down. Nope, just Irish Hills down 1 blocker in the box. This is now a power jam. This is what happens when I blink for a second. Power jam for Irish Hills. Sammy Truck was out, back in now, rejoining the fray. Hit to the inside there. The Slayer decides to call it off rather than get him recycled. 2 points for Irish Hills. 1 point, never mind. Ref changed their mind. 84 for Irish Hills to 59 for Mid-Michigan. 5.5 minutes left in the second half of gameplay. We've got a team timeout being called by Mid-Michigan, which makes sense about this point. Good time to check in and reassess.
Don't forget to meet us up at the Lansing Shuffle tonight for the after party.
Food, drink, and shuffleboard.
That's they have this nice little game room in there too. Beautiful. If anybody out there is into tabletop gaming,
Oh, they like that kind of game room. Excellent.
right? They have a small selection of games that you can play, but these 2 beautiful 8x4 foot flat one-piece tables.
Nice. You can bring your own games if you want.
You can bring your own games,
Excellent.
I believe.
All right. Not that I traveled with any, but that's a very cool option.
You should see my brother and a couple of our buddies. They have been known to backpacks with like 4 or 5 games in them, right?
Yep. My brother is a longtime tabletop gamer as well, so this is all very familiar. I used to play more. Haven't done a lot recently, but always enjoyed it.
That's why I download them all on my phone.
There you go. It's much more convenient than trying to fill up a backpack any given time. All right, so that team timeout has come to an end. Like I said, we got about 5.5 minutes left. We'll see what Mid-Michigan can do to crack away at this lead that Irish Hills has opened up and maintained for a little while now. Both teams at full strength. Both jammers on the track. That
Sweet
is-
Poison jamming for her first time, I think.
You are correct. But that is going to be Velma with lead for Irish Hills. And
Velma is starting off as a jammer, like way back in the day. She used to skate for Jackson when Jackson roller derby was a thing. She was a jammer there. And then that league folded. I think she took a little time off. And Irish Hills, which is right in the Jackson area as well, started up. She's been with them ever since. So she's got that experience.
Yep.
And I think she switched over to blocking to give some of the up-and-comers a chance to be able to develop their skills. But
Clearly they wanted to tap her skills for this.
when push comes to shove and,
Yep.
and there's no school like the old school.
We've got a timeout on the track.
Irish Hills now taking their lead to 30 points.
This is an official timeout. Yeah, I mean, since we got some time, I started as a jammer, played as a jammer for 10 years. And about the time the ye old Panini pandemonium pandemic struck, was starting to think about needing to do something else. And I've been just blocking and being a pivot ever since I came back, and I have rediscovered my joy in roller derby. I loved jamming for a long time, but it's a high-pressure position. It's hard on the body. It's been really fun to learn new things and kind of be in a different position and not have everybody looking at you
Right.
as a blocker. I gotta say, I really enjoy that. And I have a lot of sympathy for jammers while I'm on the track, but I also a lot of joy when I can, get them. It's like, yeah, this is what people did to me for years. I'm gonna do it now. It's vicious. It's just
And
vicious.
it gives you a different perspective.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
gives you like some insider knowledge.
It's nice. I feel like going from jammer to blocker is a good progression.
And
I
it
think it's been very
instantly
beneficial.
makes you a better blocker.
Oh yeah. Not that I'm great, but it's been helpful.
And same thing. I've seen a lot of jammers go from blocker to jammer. And
Yep.
having that blocker knowledge and knowing what a blocker's thinking
Absolutely.
and how you can outsmart them to get through is
It's good to be well-rounded, right? It's basically kind of understand everything that's going on the track. Monsoon now jamming for Irish Hills. That's going to be Dark and Phoenix for Mid-Michigan. Monsoon out in the front pushing against all four Mid-Michigan, but there's a big pile-up that kind of gums up the works there, so that gives a chance for Dark and Phoenix to grab lead for Mid-Michigan.
Is the lead jammer.
And a penalty being assessed, that is a hand signal, I don't remember, but Monsoon headed to the box for Irish Hills, so this will be a power jam opportunity for Mid-Michigan. 3.5 minutes left in this half, so we'll see what they can do with that. Dark and Phoenix through for 4 points.
As Irish Hills on at this time.
Irish Hills at full strength. Mid-Michigan down to 3 blockers on the track.
Michigan to make a good run.
Yeah, getting the go-ahead from the bench. Keep skating. Please keep skating and score points.
Yep, they've got to close that lead a little bit. 3 minutes left. Not easy to make up 26 points, but definitely possible.
Yeah, Dark and Phoenix not feeling it. I think has been struggling with the gas tank in this half. So called it off as Monsoon re-entered from the box. 2 points on that pass. 6 on the total. 65 for Mid-Michigan, 89 for Irish Hills. Timeout. Refs are talking again. This looks like it may be a quick one, though. Just a quick check-in.
Well, we're going to give a quick thank you to some staff here. Fabulous host, Ms. Hyde, Jarmageddon, Bab Attitude, Andy Wardall, all members of Lansing Roller Derby.
Continues to re-emphasizing timeout. So please continue.
Our medics that have been here today, or all weekend. Dr. Burns. I'm pretty sure there's not a person in the state that Dr. Burns has not had his hands on, including myself.
Excellent. Busy.
Mangler, Toxic Shock, Beauty Rage, Trauma Queen, Hispanic Attack, Jolt, She-Rocks, Harry B. East, Jadzia Smacks, Shulk, Wolf. I know OJ has been here as well. All of these medical people helping with our EMT services, making sure everybody's safe. Everybody's
Can't play roller derby without him.
literally cannot.
Cannot do it. All right, we're back at the action on the track. We got Thayer the Slayer with a star for Irish Hills, Catastrophe for Mid-Michigan. There is an immediate back block on Catastrophe. They're going to send her to the box. So Irish Hills with a power jam. This is not what Mid-Michigan wants at this point in the game. But we'll see. Yeah. There, the Slayer able to get past the blockers in a fast-moving pack, so that's going to be lead for Irish Hills now. Coming around the scoring pass, the packs are moving into turn 4, back into the near straightaway. There, the Slayer Looking for some daylight around these front two Michigan blockers, mid-Michigan blockers. Not able to get through, although moving fairly quickly in now to turn through two.
Out of state's reach.
And Catastrophe back on the track now for mid-Michigan, so that power jam comes to an end.
The power jam ends.
And there the Slayer gets through for the first 4 points of the jam. And
There's about a 40-second time differential between the jam clock and the official time clock. We've got just over a minute 30 left in the game. Bombshells up 93-65.
And I believe we're due for another timeout.
ooh, and in the nick of time, the Irish Hills gets their fourth blocker onto the track.
Coach Jack Astor calling for Uno Moss on the track.
Oh, and we're going to call that off. Looks like we have a downed skater. So, yep, Sweet Poison, who had the Jammer Star. We're going to take a minute to check in on and make sure that she's okay. So it's talking about our EMTs, this is why they're here, but we will give some time and moment to this.
So we were talking about our staff and the quality of officials and everything that the Mitten Kitten tournament draws. I mean, tournament head ref or head official Richie Cranium, tournament head official Wishbone Breaker, tournament head NSO Kelsey Grammer, another tournament head official Chemical Restraint, like big names from around the country. We've got all sorts of officials and refs coming in from all over. I know even one of the announcers came all the way up from Key West.
Oh, wow.
Buddy of mine was a longtime announcer in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and moved down to Key West, I think just last year.
Came back up for this?
Definitely came up just for, and then, so we're about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours from Grand Rapids, from Lansing. And he's staying with his daughter in Grand Rapids, so he's driving 2 hours every day just to come here and announce for us.
I won't complain about my 10-minute commute from the hotel we're staying at. Although it was a 7-hour drive after traffic and construction to get here from Madison, but I only have to do that twice, not every day.
Yeah, but you do have to drive through Chicago.
Yeah, yeah. Google tried really hard to get us to take the ferry across Lake Michigan. I'm pretty sure the ferry has paid off Google because it continued to suggest it well after we were past the point where that would make any kind of sense. Plus, very stupid expensive. I've wanted to take it, but it's just not affordable. So we have to drive through Chicagoland area. That's the trade-off.
So Sweet Poison up and heading back to her bench under her own power.
That's wonderful to see. That's what you want to see. There will be, she will not skate again. This is with just a minute left. There's a protocol to make sure skaters stay out for 3 jams at least to make sure they're okay. Do some concussion protocol if that's necessary.
So it's funny that you mentioned the ferry. Personal bucket list weekend vacation of mine. Drive over to, for our side, would be Muskegon.
Okay.
Take the Lake Xperia across to Milwaukee.
Yep.
Drive up to Manitowoc.
Oh yeah.
And then back over to Ludington on the SS Badger.
Nice. That would be great.
Yeah, nice little weekend.
I want that for you. That would be good. Beautiful
Do
areas.
you listen to the Manitowoc Minute?
I have heard it, but I don't listen regularly. I can't claim that.
So into an official timeout.
That is being called by Irish Hills.
I believe this is an old coach's ploy. It's an old coach's tactic. Coach Jack, and it's a good move on Jack Astor's part, right? He's going to make something up to waste time so that he can give his team and his jammers, especially his jammers, a little extra,
little breathing time.
Right? Timeout, you get a minute, but you call an official review, you might get 3 minutes out of it.
And that's normally what you'd see at this time in the game, although they are having a full conversation over there, so I'm wondering if there is actually an official review happening or being asked for.
It's possible. But
Because, I mean, usually they'll just come out and say, I'm using this as a timeout, and they walk away.
Right,
They
but then
used
you
to
only get
make
a
up
minute.
some fun stories.
Yeah,
so.
then you only get a minute. But if you go in, you're like, hey, I'm the last jam.
Really
Like you got,
spin a yarn.
You got to get something to get the refs to like, go,
Yeah.
okay, like I guess we got to discuss this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they are definitely discussing something. So whether it's something they actually hope to accomplish or not, I cannot tell you.
A pair of heels that she's under the way.
I saw our tournament creator, if you will, AK 40 ounce across the track, and
Some dance moves.
had to wave.
There's AK.
Stick around. Once this game is done, we will be also unveiling the Jam Award and the MVP of the game. I believe do the house announcers decide that
I think we kind of discussed it all.
as a group?
Yeah.
Decide. All right.
I'm looking at a jar of strawberry rhubarb jam.
Ooh,
Kind of makes me want to be a jammer so that I can win
that's what I was
the
saying.
strawberry rhubarb
I was like,
jam.
it's a lot. I could just go buy some. It would take a lot less effort.
The other one's a jalapeno, some sort of something jalapeno.
Maybe it's like a
the jars.
raspberry
Yeah, could be.
jalapeno. Yep.
Oh yeah, I guess that would be raspberry. 'Cause it's got a little seeds in it.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
This is just this is normal.
So the refs are having a whole conversation now about whatever Irish Hills was asking about. We'll let you know when we find out. But there's only about 1:06 left to play in the game. Just a reminder, Irish Hills is at 93 to Mid-Michigan 65. So fairly, I would say, pretty comfortably in Irish Hills' hands at this point. But we'll still at least get one more jam to play some fun roller derby and see what happens.
30 just under 30 points.
We do a full Sandrine Ranjon jam.
And so there's less than a minute or less than 2 minutes on the time clock, but they can still go a full 2 minutes.
Yep. How
That's a
many laps
tough-
is that? It's a lot of
So
laps.
initial pass, and especially there's only 4 points now. That's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20,
Yeah, it's five laps already.
24, 28. So I think they need 7 laps. Did I do my math right there? 28.
7 or 8 laps. Yep. All right, here come the refs. We'll find out what's going on for you.
7 to tie, 8 to win.
So they were asking for an additional roadblock on the big
So Straight Taco coming over to explain the official review. They were looking for a low block call on the Pink Jammer. No call on the track is going to stand. And Mid-Michigan now calling an official review.
Well, why not? Yeah, it would have been an additional penalty on the Pink Jammer, who is in the box for a different penalty. So it would have turned that into a minute in the box, but they're not going to get that. And yeah, Mid-Michigan has now called their own official review. We're just going to try all the things.
23. And the Greater Lansing Sports.
Not a bad choice to put Velma,
Yeah.
because she can get through, get lead, let the time run out,
Yep.
call it.
I mean, really, yeah, her job at this point.
Mid-Michigan Jammer starting in the box. So yeah, if I did my math right, 7, so not including the initial pass, 7 scoring passes to tie, 8 scoring passes to win,
Yep.
or at least 1 point on your 8th.
Which, you know, realistically,
So
the
8
Jammer
to
starting in
9,
the box, that's not going to happen.
yeah,
But
starting
it's fun
in the
to kind of
box,
game that
yeah.
out. I kind of like want to train that, you know, as a jammer, like how fast would you have to get through?
Which reminds me,
Like how fast could you do your laps with their blockers on the track? It's one thing to just skate laps on the track, but people are trying to hit you.
If you ever listen to like Detroit baseball,
Why would I do that?
because
No, I'm just messing with you.
Kirk Gibson will do some commentating, right?
Yeah.
And I'll
good,
watch
good.
him because he'll always be like, all right, boys, well, all we need is 2 grand slams.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
in the bottom of the 9th, all we need is,
Hope never dies.
4 runs and you know, a dying quail and a balk and a, right? Yeah,
Yeah. What all will it take? All right, we got another review coming in.
All right, so
So we have
Mid-Michigan Mayhem looking to get a back block call on the jammer, but the no call is going to stand.
So, this will likely be the last jam of this game.
See, what did I tell you? Like, they're just looking,
Yeah, just trying to.
extend some timeout, give their jammers and their blockers a chance to,
A lot of rest time.
yeah.
That was plenty. Plenty of time. All right, so we do have the power start, and they did send Velma for Irish Hills. Velma finds
Velma
the inside
through.
line wide open for a lead. So Velma just has to stay clean and on the track to run down the clock. 52 seconds left for Irish Hills to win this. Yep, and that pack moving fast, spread apart. Velma just has to follow the negative space, does get through for the 4 points there.
4 points.
And the jammer for Mid-Michigan back on the track now. That is number 44, Kankerscore, who has not yet jammed in this game.
Velma easily through for her second scoring pass. The Bombshells now passing their first century mark. 10 seconds left on the game clock.
101. Velma takes a hit and a spill to the inside, dragged back by the pivot for Mid-Michigan, as both packs now in the near straightaway again. Kankerscore is through on initial pass.
Time period is out. We are on jam time only.
We'll see, yep, getting the signal to call it off from the bench there. Irish Hills is like, yep, no need to draw that out. We can call that off. So that is going to be a victory for Irish Hills, 105 to Mid-Michigan Mayhem 65 as we come into the end of this game. Which may have run a little bit long because of all those timeouts on both halves.
Looks like coming up next, Team Indiana versus Team Maryland.
Can tell by those beautiful flag designs in the Maryland uniforms.
I do, you know what? I dig the Maryland flag.
I love it. It's great, and I like that they have the crab as their jammer star
yeah.
instead of the actual jammer star.